My dears, this is what we're talking about today. We're talking about how to get control over your to-do list, moving from all of these things that you have written down and endless lists of all of the things that you have to do, and how you can then move forward and take next right steps that are going to have the kind of impact that you want so that you can feel proud, you can feel accomplished, you can feel like you're getting shit done and adulting well. So that is what's going on today. And today is one of those days when so many things are happening and my schedule just been back to back to back to back. So we're jumping in. I didn't even put my contacts in. I did shower, so that's a win. But these are the kinds of days we have, right? This is life. It is busy and things move quickly, and especially if you are an overachiever type who is very responsible, who's generous, who likes to help people, it's really, really important that you are able to choose your next right steps carefully so that you can feel like you're actually getting things done versus just feeling really busy. And initially, the inspiration for today's chat came from a wonderful mapper and client of mine who, talks about how she would be trying to go to sleep at night and just be having these to-do lists sort of running through her head and wanting to, just keep adding to them and adding to them, which I think a lot of us can understand that, right? And uh, if that is something that you totally relate to, please comment and just an amen there, because that is something that I think a lot of us do. And pardon me, I'm just remembering that there was something I wanted to grab. Where did you go? Totally is one of those days, guys. Okay. I was going to share with you, which apparently is mysteriously, okay, guys, this is live and it's real. So give me 1 second. I'm unclipping. Where did we put it? Oh, it's not there. Stand by. Yes. Awesome. Okay, that was real life happening. It's not quite a giraffe that's ready to give birth, but I'm backwards. Hold on. There we go. A real life example of winning ugly. I realized that this this is one of my favorite tools for dealing with those late night to-do lists, and it's a book that I just keep nearby, and it's what I use to jot down any of those ideas. And when it's at night, I have this pen that lights up. It has an LED tip, and I will of course include the link to this pen in the comments. But it can be really, really helpful. You guys, I'm so winded from just looking for that book. Good Lord. Really helpful for jotting down these ideas. Because from a practical standpoint, when you have just this onslaught of things that you need to do, it can be easily overwhelming and feel like there's not enough time, right? And how are you going to get everything done? So it's important to be able to capture it. And I really recommend doing that in some sort of centralized place. It could be a physical book. It could be a Google Doc if you're really technologically savvy, or using a tool like Trello. There are lots of ways that you can capture it, but it's important for you to be able to capture things and then get them out of your head. I know that's something that you've probably heard before when talking about to-do lists or productivity, but it's really, really important just to capture it so that you don't have to put any additional energy into remembering it, or being worried that things are falling through the cracks. Because what's happening often when we are in those states where it's just item after item after item is that, our clever brain can be using that to keep us stuck and to keep us feeling disempowered, to keep us feeling like we're not doing it right, we're not doing enough. And it's important to be able to take back control of your sense of self-command, your sense of navigating, like you are the captain of your vessel, right? And you are choosing what you are getting done. And you get to say what happens. That is a much more empowered position, and you're in a much better spot to be able to be more effective and productive and to actually enjoy that process more. Because what Clever Brain loves is to have you doubt yourself. Clever Brain loves to have you feeling overwhelmed and like you're late, like you're behind. I mean, the way I describe it is like that white rabbit from Alice in Wonderland that's always like blazing through like, oh God, we're all going to die because we're late and we haven't done enough things, right? So to combat Clever Brain's use of that, the antidote is to come back into the present moment and to actually look at all of the things, the possibilities of what there is to do, whatever is going on in your head, and then decide what you are going to do and decide your next right step. So one of the things that can be real tempting, again, this goes back to Clever Brain, is for it to kind of get in the way of you doing your next right step and the one that's going to be most beneficial. So your Clever Brain, when you're looking at your to-do list and looking at all these different things, often gravitates toward the items that are easy to do, that you can quickly get churned out, and that are urgent, seemingly urgent, especially if they're urgent from other people. And if you know anything about Gretchen Rubin's 4 tendencies and obligers, if you are an obliger like I am, we can often prioritize other people's urgencies at the cost of our own. Okay, so watch for that. Watch for your Clever Brain when you're looking at your to-do list, looking for things that are easy, that are comfortable or quick for you to turn out, and that are urgent according to other people. Because what I want you to do is look at that list and ask the question, and ask this question over and over again. But what is the next right step that would serve me best? What serves you is not necessarily going to be the easy thing. It's usually going to be the harder thing. It is not necessarily going to be something that is comfortable or familiar to you. And it may or may not have anything to do with anybody else and what they believe is urgent. But it has everything to do with what is going to serve you most. And so when it comes to serving, when we're talking about things that would support our goal. So, when I'm talking about progress mapping and how each of these swirls represents the next right step, what I mean is that those are the actions to take that will move you closer toward your goal. There are countless actions that you can take that will keep you in motion and that will keep you busy. And that is another way that Clever Brain is going to get in the way of you getting done what it is that you really need to get done. And again, it will go kind of forming a rationale in your head that being busy is being productive and that being busy is good. When being busy can actually be a really great way to stay safe, to stay in denial, to stay away from what scares you and what is uncomfortable. Most of our societies really reward us for being busy and will kind of assume that as part of our identity. Like, oh, she's a busy bee. She's always moving, always got so much going on. And when you see people and they ask you, oh, how are you doing? Oh, busy, super busy, but it's good. It's just busy. And we can really feed into the value of busy. And yet busy may or may not have anything to do with your effectiveness and the actions that you are taking to reach your goals. Okay. So I want you to be watching for those things. Like when you look at your to-do list, What thoughts are coming to mind? How is Clever Brain getting in the way? Because what we're going for is having a to-do list where you are able to cross things off and feel like you are getting things done. That at the end of the day, it feels like, okay, good. I know that I got where I needed to be today. And yes, of course, there's always going to be more things on the list. And of course, when you're trying to go to bed and there are going to be more things added that pop into your head, it's totally fine. Don't even worry about that. That is life. It's not about getting every single thing done. It's about prioritizing and taking those next right steps. So one thing I want to say too about the actions that will serve you that are hard to take, that are uncomfortable, or that you will come up with any other reason not to do them. Like you'll start cleaning, or you'll even go work out. Like anything's better than sitting down and writing that thing or making the call or whatever that action is that it would really serve you. There's a thing that I do that I don't really promote very well, frankly, and it's called Time to Win. And it is a virtual power hour that I host Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. Pacific. So doing the math, that's twice a day, 5 days a week. That's 10 hours of time where it's reserved solely for getting things done and for taking action. And so if that's interesting to you, please comment below and I'll make sure to link it and give you the details. Because what happens is that we join together and we get things done on our list that we know are hard for us to do. And often, especially if you're an obliger, but if you're somebody that gets more things done when you have other people around you, then it can be really, really helpful to join us for Time to Win. And what happens is we use a really cool tool called Zoom. It's becoming ever more popular video conferencing tool because it's super easy to use. And it allows us to essentially come together in a virtual room and be able to see each other. And for Time to Win, all of the sound is muted. We only communicate through chat. And really it's just to say hello at the top of the hour and declare what it is that we're getting done. And then we all work independently. We can see each other and be aware of each other's energy, but we're really not paying attention to one another. We're really focused on whatever those next right steps are and the action that we're taking. And then at the end of the hour, we get to report back in and celebrate what we did and congratulate one another. And, I've heard things recently just from clients who've been coming to Time to Win, like, thank you so much for being here. Like, it helps so much. I got, cranked through whatever this thing was that's been sort of weighing on me and that I know that I need to get done, and can really just focus your time and energy. And when you're doing it with a group of people in this context, it seems to be more enjoyable and just more effective. So if your next right steps, if you're getting stuck and feeling like you're not moving forward, highly recommend Time to Win as a great tool and an option for you to really make strides quickly. And it's seriously up to 10 hours a week. I am the only person that comes 10 hours a week, but that's on purpose because I created this entire event because I needed something. I needed the accountability. And if I have to host something, I am going to show up. Okay. All right. So let's look at the system that I have been using for my own. I'd kind of shown it at the top of the hour. This is my to-do list, and it's a really cool book that is called the Action Journal. And shout out to Stephanie for, Action Book. Yes, see, you can see Action Book. Thanks to Stephanie for recommending this to me. I'll post the link where you can get it if you're in the market for a cool journal. But what I like about it is that it gives me an opportunity to note the actions that I want to take on the right side here. In this particular instance, there are up to 11 slots and I use 10 of them. And you'll notice that there is a familiar looking visual. That is the 10 swirl heart. And what I have been doing is using some labels. Like this is, we're talking R&D and Map Your Progress land, where I have come up with a way to use this 10 swirl heart design on the labels so that I can paste it into my journal. I mean, you can really do this anywhere. It's totally up to you. But I wanted to give us a way to be able to use the maps with our journals or planners, anything that you're using in your hands to organize your to-do list, to be getting stuff done. And what I've done is let me make sure I can see this. I don't know if you can really see it, but I've included little numbers there, which may be backwards. But what happens is I associate the swirl and whatever that number is with the action step. So I'll just write the number one, and then when I get that one done, then I color in swirl number one, which is there in the center. And I was trying this out because I wanted to test drive it before I offered it to you guys. But yeah, I've been using this for about, gosh, over a month now, and I feel like it's really working effectively, particularly in the layout of this action book. And so, of course, you can adapt this to whatever it is that you're using. I mean, it certainly does not have to be this particular journal, but I really like this one because it has the what is this binding called? The the spiral. I like the spiral because it lays flat, because I can easily fold it over on itself, and I have it right in front of me. And so this kind of becomes my holy grail of to-dos and getting things done. Well, when I'm trying to sleep at night and I need to dump things in my brain, I use this with my lights that lights up. It's my LED pen. What? Love this thing. And I will, just sort of capture things in other places, but then I bring it here into the action steps and what's getting done. So when I'm looking at the action steps, and believe me, I fill these things up pretty quickly, but when I'm looking at it, then I apply what I was just talking about earlier. I look at it and go, okay, what would serve me the most? And it's not likely going to be the comfortable thing. It's not likely going to be the easy thing, but it's the next right step that is going to be effective and that I'm going to feel victorious for having taken. Okay. And so during Time to Win, which is the virtual power hour that I host Monday through Friday, that is when I am taking those actions, taking those next right steps that are hard to take. Okay. So if you guys are interested in getting the 10 Swirl Heart labels, go ahead and comment below. It's not something that I have officially put up on the site yet, but if you guys are interested, then I would be happy to do that. Oh, hey, Taz. Hello. Saying, hi, Amy, love the action book and especially the 10 swirls. Thank you, dear. I love it too. Yeah, it's been working quite well, actually, as a system. And by the way, the labels that I'm using, and I'm happy to put the link, these are made by Avery. It's the 8164. And that's all I'm using. So essentially what I will do is get a page up on the site where you can just purchase this PDF that has the 6 10 Swirl hearts, and then you print them off at home as often as you want to using those Avery labels. Okay, great. Catherine, oh, awesome. We said the labels would be great. Taz is saying, yes, I'm very interested. Look at all those exclamation points. I love it. Okay, cool. Yeah, I really think you guys are going to like this system. And so, okay, just want to do a quick recap here of thinking about your to-do list. And particularly if you find yourself often getting overwhelmed, or you feel like there's just so much, like you're never going to get through it all. And you may feel like you're working really hard, you're being busy, you're like, the time is flying by, and yet you are not reaching your goals. You are not getting things done that you really want to get done. You want to look for how your clever brain may be getting in the way. You want to be paying attention to the thoughts that you're thinking when you look at your to-do list. And if you're gravitating towards the things that are easy, that are comfortable, that you enjoy doing. And then you also want to be aware of the things that seem urgent based on somebody else's opinion. I had a friend who used to work at the DMV, and there was like a saying there that, your lack of planning does not constitute an emergency, for us. And it's the same idea, right? We can get sucked into doing things for other people at the cost of doing the things that we need to be doing. Okay. So watch for that. Watch for those things. And then when you're looking at your list, the question that I want you to be asking when you're evaluating the next steps that you could take is, which one of those is going to serve you best? And if you are struggling to actually take the action of what's going to serve you best, then I want you to check out Time to Win, which is the virtual power hour that I host Monday through Friday, 9 a.m., 3 p.m. Pacific. That is literally 10 hours a week where you could be coming and getting things done with me. I'll post the link for details to that. And for those of you that are interested in this 10 Swirl Heart and getting the labels that you can use with your journal planner of choice, then please comment below, and I'll get that page up on the site and have an opportunity for you to get those. Okay. Oh, hey, Marianne. Oh, so good to see you, dear. Said hi. Love this idea, and the labels are wow. Oh, so good. I'm glad you guys like them. I've really enjoyed it, and again, it's something that I like because I can easily see, just based on looking at the page, like where things, have gotten done and things are in process. And I don't have to be so worried about organizing all of my to-dos. And I just know that I can quickly visually see where I'm at, what, still needs to get done. And it's not a big deal. And then it's really fun to be able to color them in. And further, I've taken some of the maps and I've just printed them out, the download version, and then just taped them in. So I am a huge fan of using the maps for to-dos because I just feel like it's so much more satisfying to color in a swirl than just check it off a list. Oh, Marianne saying, I need your pen too. Yes. Hello. This pen. It's called the Pilot's Pen. You can get it at thepilotspen.com or on Amazon. And this sucker is bright. It is very useful for when you have that nighttime onslaught of you can't go to sleep. You just get it down. And I keep this right beside me so that I can easily capture all those thoughts. Okay. All right. If there are any other questions, please shout them out. Love being with you, and I'm excited to be able to share some of these tips and tools because of course, I want you to be reaching your goals. I want you to feel like you are captaining your own vessel and choosing your time what you do with your time rather in a way that makes you feel happy and alive and contributes to a feeling of a sustainable momentum, where you know that you're growing, you're making progress, you're feeling good, and proud of what you are doing and how you are adulting. Okay, dears. Thank you so much for being here. Excited to share more with you later this week. I will be back at noon Pacific on Friday. Taz says, thank you. You're so welcome, dear. And what's also fun, I just want to remind you, this is really a new thing, but each of these chats that I do are automatically going to be posted to YouTube. And if you want to receive the replays in your inbox, all you have to do is go to the YouTube link, subscribe there, and then you'll see these in your inbox if you can't join me live. And also, if you are a person who would rather just listen to this or listen to it again, they are also going to be uploaded in the audio form to a SoundCloud account. And SoundCloud has a really great app that you can download on your phone. So you can listen back to these almost like a podcast, okay? Which is kind of fun and exciting. I just want you guys to be able to get the goodness any way that you want to get it, okay? All right, dears, great to be with you, and I will look forward to seeing you all soon. Okay, bye.